ridiculous, don't I? Oh my god, is the jingling gonna get annoying? It's fine, we're gonna roll with it. It's Christmas. Hi everyone, hope you're all doing well. Welcome to day 1 of the 12 days of Bookmas. I was thinking of doing Vlogmas but filming videos that are sit down rather than just all vlogging because my life's not that interesting. I thought about the sheer amount of work that I'll need to do with editing and I was like, be realistic. The likelihood is that I'm not going to be able to do 25 videos and make them like good enough that I'm happy to post them online. So I've decided to do 12 days instead, and these will be going every other day up until Christmas. So I hope you enjoy this. I hope you're going to enjoy like the festive content. I'm going to try and do a mixture of different things. So I'm going to try and get some bookish content in there. I am going to get some vlogs as well because I'm doing a few cool things sort of in the lead up to Christmas. I've not really done anything like this before, so it's going to be fun. I haven't gone for a Christmas jumper yet, just gone for a plain black jumper, but I thought I would spice things up a little bit. I thought I would add a little bit of spice.
Let me add a little bit of spice.
Put in beard baubles in my hair because I don't have a beard, so they're in my hair. I don't know, what is this video? I have seen quite a few of my friends on BookTube doing the end of year book tag, and I decided to also jump on the bandwagon and do this tag because, as I've said in pretty much every video for the last about 4 or 5 months, your girl's in a reading slump. The biggest reading slump that she's been in since university, which was a while ago. And oh my god, sorry. I just looked over to the door and there's a gap and my cat's just like this. Hang on, let me let her in. Come on then. Come on. Quick. She's looking at me like, oh, did you hear that little meow? This might motivate me into actually reading and finishing a book rather than starting about 50 different books and not finishing them, which has been so frustrating because if you're a mood reader like me, I feel like you'll understand reading slumps, and I've started so many books this year that I've just not finished and it's so frustrating. I'm on about 30 books for the year and my target was 75. Last year I managed to read 70, so the fact that I've not even read half this year like is low-key like upsetting me a little bit because I'm like, I've had the opportunity to read books this year but I've just not been feeling it, which is just is the most frustrating thing in the world. And Luna is probably looking at my hair like, what is going on? Question 1 is, are there any books that you've started this year that you need to finish? And as I've already said, I could list them all, but honestly we would be here for about 5 years. I'm going to tell you the ones that I really would like to finish by the end of the year. These are ones that I have featured in videos before. The first one is A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J Maas. I am about 300 pages into this book, really enjoying it, had to put it down to read books for review, never picked it back up again, so this is definitely one that I really want to finish reading because I was loving it so much. My Best Friend's Exorcism, and again this is one that I am super enjoying. I've only read about 80 or so pages of it, and no other reason other than the fact that I'm in a reading slump that I put it down. I was really enjoying it, love the writing, I love the 80s nostalgia, like oh my god, this is everything you could want in a horror book, especially if you love like 80s horror and just that whole vibe. Honestly, it's okay Luna. It's amazing. The Green Mile, and this is by Stephen King, and yes, as you can see, the pages are ripped. And do you want to know who did that? This one right here. Didn't know. Did you do this? I didn't really read a lot of this. I think I got to about 50 pages. I was enjoying it, but again, it just wasn't what I was feeling at the time. And it was quite a sad book, so I feel like I need to be in like the right headspace to read this. But I would like to finish this either at the end of this year or the start of next year. Stephen King's The Shining, and this is one... Luna, you are dribbling everywhere, honey. This is one that I'm like, oh my god, 3/4 of the way through. I'm really enjoying it. I again just stopped reading this because of the reading slump, and honestly like this is such a good book. I really do need to finish this. The next question is, do you have an autumn book to transition you into the end of the year? I mean, is pretty much winter now, so I kind of missed the mark when it comes to books to transition me into autumn. But I think for this one I'll just go with like The Shining. Snow scenes in this, and I feel like that's probably a good book to read this time of year. Question 3 is there a new release that you're still waiting for? And there is, but I am currently reading it very slowly, but we are reading it and we are enjoying it, and I will show you because I have it on my Kindle, and I was very kindly sent this by Harper 360, The Nobleman's Guide to Shipwrecks and Scandals, and this is the last in the Montague Siblings trilogy by Mackenzie Lee. I wanted to finish off this series and I'm really enjoying it. It is taking me a while to get through just because of the reading slump, but this is the book that I'm looking forward to being released. What's 3 books that you want to read by the end of the year? And I know that I've already featured some books that I want to finish, but I thought I would include 3 different books so we're not just talking about the same books. And I don't know whether this is like a cop-out, but these are books that I really want to read, and I feel like I'm like in the right space of mind to read them. I feel like there's no point in me saying I want to finish it, I want to finish The Stand, I want to finish all these big books, because the likelihood is I'm not going to read them. My brain has not got the mental capacity for those at the moment.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
That is my brain. I've gone with the first 3 volumes of Death Note. I say the first 3, technically this is the first 6 because there's 2 volumes in one, and these are horror manga. And would you class them as horror? I feel like they are like horror manga. And I've seen the anime series of this, absolutely loved it. It was incredible. I was obsessed with it, and I really need to read the manga. I want to see what it's like. I want to see how well they did the series, and I feel like this is definitely books that I'm going to be able to like binge over Christmas. Manga doesn't really take very long to read and is gonna like draw me in, and I know that I'm gonna like want to finish the series. That's the only thing though, I've only got the first 3 books, so I definitely need to get my hands on the last 3. I feel like this is definitely doable. I know they look like a face size, but obviously with like manga, with graphic novels, you can get through them quite quickly and it's a lot less pressure. I don't know if other people will agree with me, but like I feel like when I'm in a reading slump, I need to read like an easy book, whether that's like middle grade, whether that's like an old children's book, a book that I've read plenty of times before, or just like a graphic novel that's just easy and it isn't like too difficult. Do you know what I mean? Like when I say too difficult, like it's not like too taxing on your brain. You can just sort of read it and enjoy it rather than thinking about it. They are the 3 books that I would like to finish by the end of the year. Is there a book you think will still shock you and become one of your favourite reads of 2021? And I'm not going to choose one of the books I've already mentioned. I'm going to go with Horror Store, and this is by Grady Hendrix, and this is one that I don't really know anything about other than the fact that it's set in a store that's kind of like IKEA, hence that this looks like a brochure, which I think is cool, is really cool. This could definitely be one of my favourite books. I'm enjoying Grady Hendrix's writing, so that's definitely a good sign for this book. And if I get around to it, I do feel like it's probably going to be rated quite highly. Hopefully I'm not just like, do you know when you like overhype a book in your head and then when you actually get around to reading it, you're like, oh, I didn't actually enjoy it as much as I thought I was going to. I hope that's not going to be the case here. The last question is, have you already started making plans for what you're going to read in 2022? Yes and no. So I've got an idea in my head, Operation Read the Damn Books or something like that, to get myself back into reading. I don't want to put too much pressure on myself, because when I try and put too much pressure on myself, I never end up reading a book. We'll see, but I think I'm going to take a big step back from setting myself a super high goal. I think I'm probably going to set it at like 20 books or something really low like that at the start of the year, so that I'm not like constantly behind, because I think that's where I've gone wrong with my Goodreads this year. So having that over my head constantly was like a pressure to like, oh, you have to read like at least 1 book. I think it was like 1 or 2 books a week to be able to reach it. Was it 2 books a week? I'm not sure. It was just unattainable for me. I definitely need to set some realistic goals for myself. I want to try and read a lot of Stephen King next year. I want to try and really cross off his books from my list. I want to finish the A Court of Thorns and Roses series. There's a few other books that I would like to get around to. Nothing like set in stone yet. That was all my answers to the end of year book tag. What books do you want to read before the end of the year? Name one in the comments and let's try and like read these books together. I'll choose one that I want to read by the end of the year. You choose one as well, and we will hold each other accountable to this. So I'm going for The Shining. I need to finish this by the end of the year. If I don't read any of these other books, this one's got to be the one that I finish. Can you believe that we're talking about 2022 when I haven't even processed 2020 yet? It's all a bit mental. Stick around because there'll be another 11 videos on my channel over Christmas. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you did enjoy it, please give it a thumbs up. Please consider subscribing if you do enjoy my content. I post things about Stephen King, horror, fantasy, chick lit, bit of everything, bit of music as well. I will see you soon in another video. Bye!